Well, 3 people have lost their lives and several others injured after a KSRTC bus carrying tourists actually plunged into a 30-foot gorge near Pullupara in Kerala earlier today. The group was actually returning from a trip to Thanjavur when the bus reportedly lost control. This was on a sharp bend and it allegedly failed. The brakes failed is what we're being told, and then it fell into the gorge. The vehicle came to a halt after hitting trees, preventing the further descent, but among the 34 passengers and 2 staff members aboard, several were injured and have been shifted to hospitals. Rescue operations are underway with teams from the Fire Force, Highway Police and Motor Vehicle Department at the site. Meanwhile, further investigations are ongoing to determine the exact cause of this accident. In other crucial news, Jan Suraj founder Prashant Kishor, who had been on a fast unto death to press the demand for cancellation of a Bihar Public Service Commission, the BPSC examination at Gandhi Maidan in Patna, was actually arrested early this morning. Take a look at the dramatic visuals playing out on your screens. The police took him to Patna AIIMS. District Magistrate Chandrasekhar Singh has actually said the dharna being held at the Gandhi Maidan was illegal since it was being conducted at a restricted site. But these visuals from the protest site show a large team of cops removing Prashant Kishor from the protest site early this morning at around 4 a.m. as other protesters surround him in an attempt to stop the police at 4 a.m. this morning.
Prashant Kishor has been taken to ESIC hospital in Behta, which is on the outskirts of Patna, and he will be produced once they get the clearance from the magistrate in the concerned court, or otherwise he will be produced before the magistrate at their residence, because today on account of Guru Gobind Singh Jayanti, all the offices and courts are closed here. So as far as his arrest is concerned, the district administration has confirmed that he was not taken in custody, but he has been formally arrested because there was an FIR filed against him for sitting on dharna without any permission in the prohibited area. So somewhere Prashant Kishor and his supporters also knew that there will be a crackdown from the administration, which has happened at around 4 in the morning. Now it is to be seen in the court whether the court grants him bail or remands him to the judicial custody.
Well, let's switch tracks now. Manipur Chief Minister N. Biren Singh has said that 26 Myanmarese nationals who had earlier entered India through the state's border were deported to their country. A senior Manipur Home Department official said that the Myanmarese were actually handed over to the authorities of the neighbouring country by Manipur police and the central forces deployed along the bordering Moreh town. But since the 8th of March last year, 144 Myanmar nationals, including women and children, in 4 different phases have been deported to their country. Well, let's turn our attention now to the United States, where millions of Americans are in the grips of a huge winter storm that could bring the heaviest snowfall and coldest temperatures in over a decade. Thousands of flights are delayed or cancelled in the US as we speak, with St. Louis and Missouri the worst hit airport. In fact, a polar vortex has brought frigid weather down from the Arctic, with extreme weather conditions accompanying it. Kansas and Missouri are under blizzard warnings with whiteout conditions forecast, and a state of emergency has been declared in the states of Kentucky, Virginia, West Virginia, Kansas, Arkansas, and Missouri. Meanwhile, Payal Kapadia was left disappointed at the Golden Globes 2025, as were many of us, after her movie All We Imagine As Light lost in both nominations. Payal Kapadia lost the Best Director award to Brady Corbett for The Brutalist, and earlier All We Imagine As Light missed the chance to shine after losing an award to Emilia Perez in the Best Motion Picture Non-English Language. Do you remember All We Imagine As Light made history earlier this year as the first Indian film to win the coveted Grand Prix, the Grand Prix at the 2024 Cannes Film Festival, and the Golden Globe for the Best Motion Picture Drama went to The Brutalist. Shogun, by the way, had 4 nominations. That's 4 incredible wins. As always, thank you so much for investing your time in watching this edition of NDTV's News Bulletin. My colleagues will join you in a moment. Don't go anywhere.
I've been reporting on all issues, big and small, from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India, bringing you all the action, all that you need to know, all that you want to know.
The energy of Maximum City is infectious. I bring in that energy in our news coverage from financial capital Mumbai.
Covering from the southernmost part of India over the last 23 years, I bring in-depth and 360-degree coverage from the Dravidian heartland.
The land of Mishti is also known for its bitter politics. I have seen much water flow under the Howrah Bridge, covering Bengal in all its vivid colors.
In today's interconnected world, India's voice is more crucial than ever. When India speaks, the world listens. At NDTV World, we are that voice, bringing you intelligent and insightful news from India and beyond. From geopolitics and diplomacy to economic shifts, migrations, tech disruptions, and the stories of our diaspora. We cover the news that shapes our global future. NDTV World, your new home for global news, is here.
All set for Trump 2.0. Countdown to January 20th. Terror shadow, visa wars. All the twists and turns. Tracking Trump takeover. Every day at 10:30 p.m. only on NDTV 24/7.
We are able to maintain the democratic fabric and the democratic system.
I want to do something that can make a difference.
लगातार जनता की आवाज को सरकार तक पहुंचाने का काम मैं करता हूं.
I was a student up until very recently. I really want to work and do something for my people because they have given me this opportunity. They have elected me.
सोचा नहीं था कि राज्यसभा सांसद बनूंगी.
Mahakumbh, a festival of
Stormy start to the Tamil Nadu Assembly session as AIA-DMK MLAs evicted from the State Assembly. This is eviction for the placards against the alleged Chennai rape case that took place at the Anna University. And a turbulent start to the Tamil Nadu Assembly session with the governor also walking out. R.N. Ravi walked out for the national anthem that wasn't played after the state anthem. And Formula E race case probe picks up as the BRS leader KTR appeared before the Anti-Corruption Bureau today but had to leave as his legal team wasn't allowed. Suresh Chandrakar, the prime accused in the murder of Mukesh Chandrakar, a Chhattisgarh journalist, has been taken into custody by the Special Investigation Team from Hyderabad.
And in battle, Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau is likely to resign as the Liberal Party leader amid growing concerns and calls within the party for him to step down. The Globe and Mail is reporting it's unclear as to if he will continue as the Prime Minister till they don't find a leader that has been selected. And a big night at the Golden Globes, but it is India's entry to the Golden Globes. Payal Kapadia lost out on those two nominations. However, Emilia Perez won big at the Golden Globes. Very good morning. You're watching NDTV 24/7. I'm Divya Vadva. Let's get to your top story, and that is in regard to the first day of the assembly session in Tamil Nadu, and it's AIA-DMK MLAs that were evicted from the assembly. Protests took place over the alleged rape case at the Anna University in Chennai, and the opposition there raking up that issue when it comes to the safety of women. Double standards as far as the Tamil Nadu assembly is concerned. Protests. This is what is being said by the opposition there. Of course, to get to know more on this, we have DMK spokesperson A. Sarvanan joining us. Sir, if you could just take us through what has really led to the eviction of the MLAs of the AIA-DMK.
ADMK MLAs, they want to create an issue out of what happened at the Anna University, where action has been initiated. The culprit has been found and he has been arrested. And they've also approached the High Court, and the High Court has also formed a committee, a 3-member top police officials committee to investigate. A special investigation team has been formed and monitored by the High Court. But still, the ADMK is not satisfied. It's not satisfied with the outcome because they thought the DMK government will bungle up the investigation and they can make a political issue out of it. They were sorely out of sync. That is the reason now they want to make this an issue again and again. They said they want to get justice for the victim. We are saying the accused is arrested. What more justice is required at this stage? The investigation is going on. So we are asking whether you have faith in the High Court or not. The High Court has ordered the investigation on your petition. So why are you not waiting for the outcome of the investigation? The investigation is not done by the regular police. It is monitored by the High Court. But still, they're going to keep saying justice, justice, justice. They think it will stick on against the DMK government. And that is why they want to do this drama inside the assembly today.
Also, Mr. Sarvanan, it is the problem, the issue that is being cited is the badges that they were wearing. These were badges that said, "Who is that sir?" That is the translation in English. So if you could take us to what is it that, really read on those badges that they were wearing?
See, that's what Yaar the sir is what the badge, because the FIR narrates that the accused person was saying that he will speak to that sir. He is speaking to the sir or something like that. So these people are saying, who is that sir? That sir, somebody else is involved. If somebody else is involved, it will come out during the investigation. I don't know why the ADMK wants to preempt the investigation. That is what I pointed out, that the investigation is now carried out on the instructions under the monitoring of the High Court. If they don't have faith on the High Court,
but sir, this was on expected lines, given the fact that this really comes on the heels of that rape incident, incidentally, that allegedly took place at the Anna University. The opposition there up in arms regarding the safety when it comes to the law and order situation, the safety, also drugs being an issue as far as Tamil Nadu is concerned. They're raking up that issue, demanding, of course, questions to be answered. But sir, that led to the eviction of the MLAs of the opposition party. What kind of, as far as the workings are concerned of the assembly session on day one itself, within minutes, the MLAs were evicted?
See, that's what they want to bring up this false bogey of law and order, and people are not safe here. The government is giving a wonderful measure. They are ensuring that the common man is not affected at all. But the ADMK, they don't have anything to say against the administration. They are not able to raise any issues which will politically stick on the DMK. So they are raising this issue, this false bogey of law and order. And they say drugs. drugs happening, drugs. Tamil Nadu, not a single drug is manufactured in the state of Tamil Nadu. If any drug is coming into the state of Tamil Nadu, that is coming from the other state. It is the duty of the union government to stop these kind of drugs which come from the other states. And we all know that Gujarat is the gateway of drugs for the entire country. So their axe is to grind against they have their axe to grind against the union government, but they want to deflect that on the state government. That is where the issue starts.
Right, Mr. Saravanan of the DMK, they're, hitting back at the opposition for raising the issue of the safety of women, demanding answers when it comes to the rape case that took place allegedly at the Anna University. We have my colleague Sam joining us as well. Sam, take us through what really happened and what really led to the eviction. It was a question of the badges they wore in protest of what's really happened in the state of Tamil Nadu.
Divya, as the governor was making his short observation as part of his address before he walked out in protest from the Tamil Nadu Assembly, the key opposition, AIADMK, led by former Chief Minister EPS, gathered on the well of the house with placards in their hand that said, "Who is that sir?" This is in connection with the recent alleged sexual assault of a woman student on the Anna University campus, and they raised slogans against the state government. And the speaker asked them to take their seats and calm down, but nothing worked. And then the speaker ordered their eviction, following which the marshals of the assembly moved them away. And outside the assembly, the AIADMK members continued to raise slogans and displayed the placards. And they say they don't have trust in the ongoing investigation, although it's ordered by the Madras High Court, investigated by a special investigation team with 3 women officers on the job. They say the ruling DMK is trying to safeguard somebody. They allege that the alleged perpetrator who had sexually assaulted the woman student on the Anna University campus at that time had spoken to someone, referring to the other person on the phone as sir, and they want to know who was that sir, and they allege that it could be perhaps somebody from the DMK which the police is trying to shield. And they deny that they are politicizing the issue as observed by the Madras High Court, and they say they're only interested in ensuring that the campuses like Anna University would be safe, and then the parents who are worried now would get the confidence to send their women, to send their daughters to colleges and universities. And as we speak, they have left the assembly campus. The assembly session could be for 4 to 5 days, which will be clear in a couple of hours after the Business Advisory Committee would meet and decide. But certainly the key opposition, AIADMK, is turning the heat on the ruling DMK on the issue of women's safety. And we understand they will also raise the issue of drugs in the state and law and order generally, pointing out that this incident is a reflection of what they call as declining law and order. But the ruling DMK has denied these allegations, saying that within 5 hours since the survivor had made a police complaint, the Chennai police had nabbed the alleged perpetrator, put him behind bars, invoking sections of sexual assault. Investigation is underway, and there is no need for them to shield anyone. And they deny that the accused is a DMK member, and they say the special investigation team is on the job, and whatever had transpired then will come out in the investigation.
Right, of course, you did mention that the Tamil Nadu governor, left the assembly without delivering his customary address to the assembly on the very first day of the assembly session, citing concerns about the national anthem. His complaint was that the national anthem was not played after the state anthem, and that is something which is a part of the tradition and the customs there.
That's right, Divya. The Governor R.N. Ravi has been raising this issue since last year, that he wants the national anthem to be played before his customary governor's address on the first session in the new year, and pointing out that the assembly only practices the playing of the Tamil anthem first, and then they play the national anthem at the end of the governor's address. He feels it's not in conformity with the constitutional norms and objecting to that custom, the governor walked out without giving his customary speech. And as we speak now, the Tamil Nadu Assembly has adopted a resolution that would record only the official speech printed and given to the governor and the members in the House, and not what the governor spoke outside this speech. And the Speaker has clarified on the floor of the House that for a long time, Tamil Nadu Assembly has the tradition and convention of beginning with the Tamil anthem before the governor's address, and then after the governor's address, ending the day's proceedings playing the national anthem. And that's how it is, and that has to be respected. And he says when the governor had wrote to him last year in December, it was clarified and it's a settled issue. There's no reason why the governor is raking it up again. That's what the Tamil Nadu government says. But as we speak, two things. One, the governor's speech, whatever he had made, will not go on record. Only the official speech given to him would go on record. Number two, the Assembly has clarified that it has its own customs, conventions and traditions, and it has to abide by that. And according to that, the day's proceedings of the governor's address begins with the Tamil anthem and concludes with the national anthem. In fact, in 2023, Divya, Governor R.N. Ravi had skipped certain portions from the official speech given to him by the cabinet. He refrained from reading names of leaders like Periyar, Ambedkar, Annadurai, and phrases like Dravidian model. And also he had deviated from the speech parts that dwelt on the law and order in Tamil Nadu. And perhaps, and at that time too, Chief Minister M.K. Stalin had moved a resolution to record only the official speech given. And last year, the governor had completely skipped away from the speech given to him, went extemporaneous, and even at that time, the Assembly had recorded only the official speech given to him. This time, interestingly, the Assembly did not give a live YouTube link for the governor's speech, perhaps in an attempt to preempt any kind of speech the governor could make against the ruling DMK or the ruling party or the state government. And so now the Speaker has ruled that the media should not report what the governor had spoken as part of the proceedings of the House and should report only what was officially recorded. So that's the overall overview of what happened with respect to the governor's address. And the technical session or the official session and discussions will begin tomorrow. In a while from now, we will know for how many days will the session meet this time after the Business Advisory Committee would meet. But all guns are trained towards the ruling DMK, with the AIADMK turning its heat on the ruling party, particularly over the alleged sexual assault at Anna University, which the ruling DMK denies it's trying to cover up or shield. Divya.
Right, thank you so much for getting us all those details of what really transpired on the very first day with, of course, the governor walking out because of the national anthem not playing, and then followed by the eviction of the AIADMK MLAs for carrying those placards asking who is the sir, and those are the questions being asked in regard to the alleged murder. This is the alleged rape assault case that took place at the Anna University, and of course questions being raised in regard to that assault case. Now switching tracks now in regard to KTR, who appeared before the ECB briefly but left within minutes. This was after handing over a statement. This as he wasn't allowed to appear with his legal team. His lawyer was not allowed. So the BRS leader had been summoned actually by the ECB in the Formula E race case, but but his lawyer was stopped from going inside, and which is why, do remember, the ECB on the 29th of December last year booked a case against KTR, the senior IAS officer Arvind Kumar, and also the Hyderabad Metropolitan Development Authority former chief engineer BL.N. Reddy. KTR, who was the municipal administration minister during the previous BRS regime, was also summoned by the ED for questioning on the 7th, that is tomorrow, over the alleged irregularities with regard to conducting that race in Hyderabad in February last year. Let's listen into what KTR has to say. He's saying he's a law-abiding citizen, and that it's basically his legal counsel who wasn't really allowed to enter, which is why he had to leave.
As a law-abiding citizen, respecting the Honorable High Court, respecting Anti-Corruption Bureau's, direction to appear before them, I'm here. but they're not allowing my advocates, they're not allowing me to have my own rights. All I'm seeking of the Anti-Corruption Bureau is that they respect the High Court's judgment. High Court, in fact, has reserved its judgment. I am a law-abiding citizen. I worked as a lawmaker. I am still a lawmaker. So therefore, all I'm asking the ACB is to ensure that my rights are protected as an individual, as a citizen. I am entitled to my lawyers being present with me, but unfortunately, they seem to have a different opinion. So we are trying to discuss with them and engage with them.
Uma joining us to get us more on this. Uma, really take us through what really happened when KTR appeared before the ACB officials. He's saying that he's allowed to have his legal counsels with him. However, that entry was denied. And on what grounds was that entry denied?
So high drama outside the Anti-Corruption Bureau office in Banjara Hills, where Mr. K.T. Ramarao came along with his legal team, and he was in fact outside the office and he was not allowed to go in with his legal team, and he sought the permission of the ACB to come in with his legal team, claiming that it is legal right, constitutional right to have his lawyer along with him, and the ACB reportedly did not give permission for that. So after standing, or rather waiting in his car for about half an hour outside the ACB office in Banjara Hills, he left. And subsequently, he has also spoken to the media, and he told multiple things. One, he said that he has submitted a letter to the ACB, and that's a statement that he was going to make before them as well. And that letter was handed over to the ASP of the ACB who had come out. And in the letter, he has specifically said that he has filed a quash plea in the High Court, and the verdict in that particular case is pending, and it has been reserved, in fact, by the court. And the ACB themselves have filed a very, very detailed, kind of play and submission in court regarding the quash plea itself. And since the verdict in that case is pending, he would like the ACB to postpone its questioning, abiding by the directions of the High Court, which in fact had also said that the ACB should not go ahead and arrest Mr. K.T. Ramarao. He says because the ACB had, despite that, summoned him, with respect, having respect for the law, he had decided to appear before the ACB. He cites the case of Patnam Narendra Reddy, one of his party colleagues who has been named as an accused in the Lagacherla case, where some collector and certain other officials were attacked, and subsequently it was alleged to be a BRS conspiracy. And he says the police had manufactured a letter as a confessional statement of Patnam Narendra Reddy, saying that he had also named KTR as an accused in the case. And he says, I do not want to be met with the same fate where they distort what I say and make up statements, and that's the reason why I want to protect my own constitutional rights and legal rights, and that's why I want my lawyer to be along with me. And since they are not allowing that, he is leaving the premises, and that's how Mr. K.T. Ramarao left the ACB office without entering the premises, even though he says that he had an intention to go inside and issue a statement before them. Of course, Mr. KTR has been A1 in this particular case, the ACB case, and A2 and A3 are also government officials in this particular case. And of course, the Enforcement Directorate has also booked a case, and they have asked him to appear before them on the 7th of January, which is tomorrow. Whether he's going to seek more time or give the same argument before them, that's something that we need to wait and see.
Right, of course. What course of action is the ACB going to take in regard to calling him back, perhaps allowing him with his counsel, or making it very clear that he has to come by himself? Of course, we will keep tracking that story. Uma, stay with us for our next story as well, and that is in regard to the main accused in the murder of journalist Mukesh Chandrakar, whose body was found in a septic tank in Chhattisgarh last week. He has now finally been arrested from Hyderabad last night. He was a mastermind and is a distant relative and a contractor. He had been on the run since the incident came to light. And to get to know more on this, Uma with us. Uma, it is, the main accused in the case was apparently hiding at his driver's residence in Hyderabad.
Yes, indeed. I have spoken to the Telangana DGP, Mr. Jitender, who confirmed that Mr. Suresh Chandrakar, the contractor who has been named as accused in the murder of the journalist Mukesh Chandrakar, he had come to Hyderabad along with his driver, and we do understand that he was staying at the residence of the driver possibly, and subsequently had left that place, and that is when the Chhattisgarh police, rather the special investigation team, seems to have arrested him. That's what the DGP of Telangana has told us. What we do know is that about 200 CCTV cameras were tracked, and about 300 mobile phone calls were in fact tracked by the SIT, which was probing into this, into trying to search the accused. The other accused in this particular case, Ritesh as well as Dinesh Chandrakar, both brothers of the contractor, have both been arrested as well. And we do know that Ritesh was arrested from the Raipur airport, and Dinesh and one more person who has been identified as Ramtek, he has also been arrested from Bijapur, and you would recall that Mr. Mukesh Chandrakar's body was found in a septic tank in a field belonging to Mr. Suresh Chandrakar, and what the police and investigators are telling us is that this is a conspiracy that was hatched in fact by Mr. Suresh Chandrakar, and Mukesh Chandrakar of course had been exposing a corruption in a road laying case as a contractor, which in fact had aired on NDTV on the 25th of December, and he was in fact a contributor to the NDTV news channel.
Right, of course, and that had led to an inquiry, of course, in the case, and let's just get you more details on this with my colleague Anurag Dwari, but before that, let's just get your reaction from the SIT.
के द्वारा पत्रकार साथी मुकेश चंद्राकर के हत्या की घटना में शामिल फरार आरोपी सुरेश चंद्राकर की देर रात हैदराबाद में हिरासत में लिया गया। साथ ही साथ इस प्रकरण में अब तक सुरेश चंद्राकर के अलावा 3 आरोपियों की गिरफ्तारी पहले की जा चुकी है, जिसमें रितेश चंद्राकर, दिनेश चंद्राकर एवं महेंद्र रामटेके शामिल हैं। साथ ही साथ मामले में विस्तृत पूछताछ की जा रही है।
Formed to arrest Suresh Chandrakar, 11-member SIT headed by IPS Mayank Gujar, and they have reviewed around 200 CCTV cameras, more than 300 mobile numbers were tracked, and after that the police arrested Suresh Chandrakar from Hyderabad. He was hiding at his driver's place. His bank accounts were frozen, illegal construction owned by Suresh Chandrakar were demolished, and now the police they have arrested Suresh Chandrakar from Hyderabad, and he will be soon brought back to Bijapur.
Right, switching tracks now to the national capital, and it's the Aam Aadmi Party versus the BJP's battle, with the BJP there doubling down on Sheesh Mahal. The BJP has slammed the Aam Aadmi Party over the CAG report with the massive cost of inflation as far as the chief of the Aam Aadmi Party, Arvind Kejriwal, is concerned. The BJP is demanding an account of the expenses. The CAG had raised 139 questions is what the BJP has gone on to claim. The Prime Minister had also said that the Aam Aadmi Party, this is the focus as far as the Mahal of is concerned, and now Kejriwal hitting back there that the Prime Minister is out there to in fact hit out at the Aam Aadmi Party. Let's just listen into what the BJP chief in Delhi, Virendra Deva, had to say.
We are being joined by Delhi BJP President Mr. Virendra Sachdeva. During his press conference, the Delhi BJP has even brought out this large model of Sheesh Mahal, the house of ex-Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal. Let's go straight to him. Sir, जिस तरीके से देखा जा रहा है, आपने कैग के कुछ रिपोर्ट का हवाला दिया है, आपने बताया है कि जिस तरीके से कैग के रिपोर्ट्स आए हैं वो 2022 तक के ही हैं और उसमें बहुत सारी इरेगुलरिटीज़ हैं, और ये भी आपने बताया है कि इसमें जो इन्वेंटरी है अगर उसको ऐड कर दिया जाए तो कई लाख और जो करोड़ों रुपए जो है वो उसमें बढ़ जाते हैं।
देखिए, कैग की जो पहली रिपोर्ट आई है वो 2022 तक की है। उसमें कई सारे सवाल अरविंद केजरीवाल और पीडब्ल्यूडी डिपार्टमेंट से पूछे गए हैं। उसमें 139 सवाल तो इसी बात के लिए पूछे गए हैं कि इतना बड़ा आलीशान बंगला बनाने के लिए आपने परमिशन किससे ली है। हर व्यक्ति को उसकी कैटेगरी के हिसाब से मकान अलॉट किया जाता है। अरविंद केजरीवाल से पहले मदन लाल खुराना, साहिब सिंह वर्मा, शीला दीक्षित सब किसी न किसी बंगले में रहे हैं, लेकिन अरविंद केजरीवाल को भ्रष्टाचार की इतनी भूख थी, इतना बड़ा आलीशान बंगला बनाते हैं और उस बंगले पर अवैध रूप से बिना सैंक्शन ऑर्डर लिए बार बार पीडब्ल्यूडी से उसमें कंस्ट्रक्शन का काम बढ़ाया जाता है। अभी आप उनका बंगला दिखा रही हैं, ये कारें दिखा रही हैं, मैं इसमें मिसिंग कर रहा हूँ, वो ब्लू वैगन आर दिखाई नहीं दे रही अरविंद केजरीवाल की, जिसे लेके वो घूमते थे। लेकिन गाड़ी नहीं लेने वाले आज 4-4, 6-6 गाड़ियों के मालिक हैं। इस बंगले को बनाते समय जिस तरह से भ्रष्टाचार किया गया है, ये 2022 तक की सीएजी की रिपोर्ट बता रही है।
Right, Anushka, joining us to get us more on this. Anushka, take us through this new war of words when it comes to the BJP making claims as far as the residence of the ex-Chief Minister of Delhi is concerned, claiming that there was a massive cost inflation when it came to that residence of Arvind Kejriwal in the civil lines area of Delhi.
Well, certainly, Divya, the Delhi BJP has once again confronted the Aam Aadmi Party over the construction of the posh bungalow of ex-Chief Minister that is situated at 6 Flagstaff Road, and has said that the average estimate has been given around 33.66 crores, but the original figure goes beyond that, and he has also in fact mentioned that the whole construction, if we add everything of the inventory states, the construction figure goes to about 75 to 80 crores. Now, also the first revelation, according to the Delhi BJP, that the CAG report makes is that the PWD, that is the government agency, rather than working as a government agency, was working as a private contractor for the Kejriwal government, and it is a clear matter of give and take between both the Arvind Kejriwal's government and the authority, the PWD. Also, on page number 139, what the CAG report is raising question is regarding the construction of this bungalow without the approval of DU, AC and Delhi Municipal Corporation. And also, if we want to estimate the actual cost of this bungalow, it will require an audit of several departments' accounts and adding the inventory created by PWD on October 11, 2024. Now, they have clearly mentioned, the Delhi BJP, is that the CAG report only states the data till 2022. A lot of renovations were made, a lot of beautification was done, and also Arvind Kejriwal, according to his category, was allotted a bungalow in which he additionally spent a lot of money to rebuild that bungalow. A posh mansion was created at the behest of public's money, public's tax money. And also the BJP has said that Arvind Kejriwal is in fact guilty of every person who put their faith on Anna Hazare, and has also said that all of the money that was involved, all the private contractors, all the players who were involved in building that whole Sheesh Mahal are in fact equally guilty, and investigation should be done. A thorough investigation should in fact be done as to how much money was exactly spent over this whole bungalow. A lot of staff quarters were in fact remade, rebuilt, renovated, and a lot of things were there done on a temporary basis, and a lot of data is in fact missing from the CAG report. The first revelation that the CAG report has also mentioned is that regarding the PWD officials who were in fact, according to BJP, were involved in a give and take relation between the Kejriwal government and them, and Kejriwal had to in fact turn a blind eye over the corruption that was done by the PWD officials on the behest of building that bungalow and giving all the permission that were required to build the bungalow that has now been dubbed as Sheesh Mahal by the opposition. Back to studio.
Right, to get to know more on this, we have Mihir Mishra, political analyst, joining us. Mihir, when we talk about that CAG report on Delhi former Chief Minister's residence in the civil lines area, the cost of renovation that went up by 4 times. We're talking about that original cost, which is supposed to be a little over 8 crores, went up to over 33 crores. And from what we're hearing is that 1.81 crore rupees was paid to consultants alone. So what would you say in regard to that report that's come out, where approvals were sidestepped for higher billing? And we're talking about, the kind of money that was spent, in terms of especially the curtains, the gym. How would you respond to that?
Actually, Divya, intent is very important in politics, actually. And we all know that Delhi is, just polls are around. So the timing of this calculated kind of leakage of this report, that is suspicious. Okay. And as far as we all know, 2 days ago, also Prime Minister Modi gave speech, and for 43 minutes, he constantly accused Kejriwal, Mr. Kejriwal and Aam Aadmi Party convener that Sheesh Mahal, blah, 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 blah. But actually, which I can only say at this point of time, that this is a media creation and narrative, something like that. You have all the agencies, you have and we all say how blatantly this government, central government, used this all kind of tools. We still remember that, CBI remark, Supreme Court remark, case, something like that. So all the agencies have all the tools. You go and you inquire this thing if you think this is something like that. And Arvind Kejriwal, former Chief Minister of Delhi, he himself clarified this thing. He clearly, in a very strong rebuttal, he said, Sheesh Mahal remark, one who builds the house for 2,700 crores for himself, travels in an airplane worth ₹8,700 and who wears a tailor suit, talking about...
Sir, the allegations against Arvind Kejriwal is from muffler man to mansion man. Of course, when you talk about this splurging as far as this residence of the former Chief Minister is concerned, in comparison to the promises of simplicity, that is what Arvind Kejriwal speaks of. How do you justify 96 lakh rupees which was spent on curtains, 39 lakh rupees spent on kitchen equipment, and more than 18 lakhs spent on gym equipment at the residence of the former Chief Minister, who only promises of simplicity. He says he's a simple man. How does this justify this?
Same formula we should apply also on Prime Minister Modi. He was claiming that he is chowkidar. Okay. Now, what is the kind of suits he is wearing? And opposition has same allegations against him. We should not forget that. We also know that we are just on the verge of election. Delhi is going to poll, deciding to who is going to rule Delhi next. And, since last 12 years, there is only one political party which actually worked there on the ground. As far as we all know, they are not talking about development. They are not talking about, mohalla clinics. They are not talking about schools. They are not talking about education. They are not talking on infra. They are only
saying... Sir, but this is Delhi's taxpayer money. The money of the Delhiites has gone into it. Of course, with the BJP, they are reacting, saying that this should now become a tourist spot because the taxpayers should come and see where their money was actually spent on. Because this kind of money, these exaggerated figures that we're talking about, for any layman who doesn't really even understand how much it costs for the services that have been provided to making of that residence, for the renovation of that residence, it's absolutely absurd and unheard of. Thank you so much for speaking with us.
Okay.
And with that, we're slipping into a very short break. We're back with a whole lot more on the other side. Do stay with us.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola Edge 50 Pro, world's first AI-powered pro-grade camera.
I've been reporting on all issues big and small from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India, bringing you all the action, all that you need to know, all that you want to know.
The energy of maximum city is infectious. I bring in that energy in our news coverage from financial capital Mumbai.
Covering from the southernmost part of India over the last 23 years, I bring in-depth and 360-degree coverage from the Dravidian heartland.
The land of Mishti is also known for its bitter politics. I have seen much water flow under the Howrah Bridge, covering Bengal in all its vivid colors.
today's interconnected world, India's voice is more crucial than ever. When India speaks, the world listens. At NDTV World, we are that voice, bringing you intelligent and insightful news from India and beyond. From geopolitics and diplomacy to economic shifts, migrations, tech disruptions, and the stories of our diaspora. We cover the news that shapes our global future. NDTV World, your new home for global news is here. All set for Trump 2.0. Countdown to January 20th. Terror shadow, visa wars. All the twists and turns. Tracking Trump takeover. Every day at 10:30 p.m. only on NDTV 24/7.
We are able to maintain the democratic fabric and the democratic system.
I want to do something that can make a difference.
लगातार जनता की आवाज को सरकार तक पहुंचाने का काम मैं करता हूं.
I was a student up until very recently. I really want to work and do something.
Let's get you the latest as far as the markets are concerned. The markets stumbled in trade with the Nifty and the Sensex declining nearly 1% with the spotlight on earnings and macro data. To get to know more on this, we have Sakshi joining us. Sakshi, what's really causing this decline? Is the virus that China has hit by have anything to do with this?
Well, first, like you said, markets tumbling in trade, the Nifty and the Sensex declining nearly 1%, the Sensex now tumbling over 700 points as we speak, the Nifty tumbling over 200 points. We have seen across sectors really the pressure being witnessed, or across heavyweights as well as broader markets. We can see the stocks trading in the red. So now, as far as what really has led to this decline, well, we spoke to experts and they believe that, yes, remember, we are expecting Q3 earnings, we are expecting a lot of macro data in the coming week. So those factors are impacting the market sentiment. Having said that, like you mentioned, one cannot negate what is happening across the world. So global cues are also being tracked very, very closely by analysts as well as all alike as far as investors are concerned as well. So for the moment, markets clearly reacting to global news, the spotlight on earnings and macro data. Remember, many are not expecting this earnings season to be as strong, and that really is denting sentiment.
Right. Thank you so much, Sakshi, for joining us with those details. Switching to international news now, and Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau is expected to announce his resignation as the leader of the Liberal Party. The Globe and Mail is reporting that Trudeau has, of course, been under major pressure from elected lawmakers in his party to quit for months now. It has increased further when his finance minister and deputy prime minister stepped down. This is, quite a blow as far as the Liberal Party is concerned, which is becoming highly unpopular by the day. Trudeau's resignation would trigger a race for the party leadership, with the winner becoming the Prime Minister. My colleague Maha has the details.
A lot of his party members also blame Justin Trudeau specifically for the unpopularity of the Liberal Party. They feel that the economic situation in the country was not properly handled. There was rising inflation, housing crisis, because of which the party has been left vulnerable now electorally. And that is why there were calls for a leadership change in the Liberal Party. These calls have been made for the last over 6 months. Members of his party, as well as members of parliament of the Liberal Party, have been calling for his resignation as the party leader and have been asking for a fresh leadership to take them into the next election. But his situation became even more tenuous after his close ally, the Deputy Prime Minister and the former Finance Minister, Chrystia Freeland, resigned. She said that Justin Trudeau wanted to change her ministry, but she chose to step down from the cabinet instead. Since then, the NDP that had initially been supporting the Trudeau government, the minority government from the outside, but they had, remember, withdrawn that outside support in September. However, they were supporting the government on a case-by-case basis in Parliament. The leader of that party, Jagmeet Singh, had also said that he will bring a non-confidence motion against the Trudeau government come the 27th of January, when the House of Commons would have met again. That is when the situation for Justin Trudeau became absolutely difficult to continue with. Justin Trudeau realized that his party is not going to survive this non-confidence motion, because another important opposition party Bloc Quebecer also said that they will not be supporting the government this time around. And it is under these circumstances now that reports are coming in, specifically Globe and Mail reporting, citing three sources, that Justin Trudeau is going to step aside as the leader of the Liberal Party, which means that he will no longer remain the Prime Minister. However, there is no clarity yet on who could take over and whether this is going to save the government, because the NDP has clearly said that even if there is a change in leadership, they will continue to go ahead with their non-confidence motion, and because they want this government to go immediately and fresh elections to be.
Right, and to know more on this, thank you so much, Maha. We have Daniel Boardman joining us, a Canadian journalist. Thank you so much for speaking with us here on NDTV. Daniel, would you say this was on expected lines and Trudeau's resignation was inevitable?
It's a bit of a strange thing, because if it was any other leader of any other party at any other point in Canadian history, he would have been forced to resign, I mean, years ago. But especially like the most recent scandals with, his own deputy prime minister saying pulling the whole "you can't fire me, I quit" shtick. And the fact that over half his own caucus has come out against him. I mean, any other leader of any other party would have been forced to resign instantly. But this is Justin Trudeau. This is the modern Liberal Party. This is modern Canada. And he seems to have no shame in any way. So he's very willing to sort of grasp onto power by any means necessary. So the rumors that he's set to resign could be true. I mean, it wouldn't be shocking. I mean, any other politician in this scenario would be forced to resign. The government is completely untenable. But in sort of a weird way, the fact that Canadian parties can be whipped and very much controlled by their leaders. So between the two of them, between Justin Trudeau and Jagmeet Singh, if both of those two don't want an election, it is still possible to kind of hold out until October. But if it was any other person, they would have been forced to resign instantly. But he is so, I don't know, I guess narcissism is the word. He is incredibly narcissistic that he's refused to take any accountability for his actions. So we do know there's lots of pressure on him to resign, but there's always been a lot of pressure on him to resign over the last few years due to like the massive amount of just scandal after scandal after scandal after scandal where, from week to week, it's some new major scandal. So I wouldn't be shocked if he does resign today, but I also wouldn't be surprised if this just turns out to be rumors, because again, there's two factions within the Liberal Party now, ones that want him gone and ones that want him to stay. So this is just a rumor, and it's not so far-fetched that someone who's part of the anti-Trudeau faction could leak a rumor to the Globe and Mail to put more pressure on him to try and force him to resign and enforce a leadership. But again, this is all rearranging deck chairs on the Titanic for the Liberal Party. They're projected to get 6 seats, and if they change Trudeau as leader, maybe they could get 15 seats out of 333. I mean, they're still going to get obliterated electorally. So, what's the difference between 6 and 15?
Right, Daniel, also reports coming in of Trudeau's advisors trying to save him. Will they manage to pull it off is the big question. Will he really remain as the Prime Minister till they don't find another selected leader? What really is the way forward?
We're all kind of in uncharted territories here. Like, no one's really sure. Like, it might be technically possible to stay on as Prime Minister, but like resign as leader. But I don't. Like in practicality, that's never happened. When you resign as leader of the party, there's a new interim leader of the party, and they would then become prime minister. But again, all of this is very, very unpopular with Canadians. Canadians know that Donald Trump's administration is coming in on the 20th. He does despise Justin Trudeau and Chrystia Freeland and pretty much everyone in the Liberal Party for good reason. I mean, they spent the last 10 years, 8 to 9 years, let's say, just Trump bad as a key part of their foreign and domestic policy. So it wouldn't be shocking if again, the Liberals get in and pull some sort of shenanigans where he's still prime minister but not leader. But it would make no sense. Again, we're all in our uncharted territory here. The government should have collapsed months ago, and should collapse any minute now. But it requires the leader of the Liberal Party to have no shame, no love of country, no love of party, no love of anything other than himself. And that's kind of what we had. So this is pretty indicative of Justin Trudeau, just no regard for even his own Liberal Party, which he claims to care about. So he'll burn down the country. We all know that, but now he showed he'll burn down the Liberal Party, just to, I don't know, be king of Canada for a few more months. Like, I think he really loves being president of the G7 this year, and calling him president, he's going around calling himself president of the G7. This is things Trudeau loves. Trudeau loves international nonsense. He wants to be chief UN ambassador to social justice, climate change feelings. This has always been a major goal of his, is to be like internationally recognized as some sort of vapid international head of something. So with the G7 set to come to Canada, I mean, this is sort of his fantasy, is to just call himself captain and president of the G7. And very much, if you can tell in Canada, he very much enjoys declaring himself president of the G7 right now. So I think it's crazy to sound, that kind of is, I think, his primary motivation going forward, is he wants to have the G7 in Canada and, sort of pretend he's king of the world for a week. But is that enough to keep the entire government in place? We'll find out. But again, we're in uncharted territory in Canada, because any other leader would have been forced out months ago by some of these scandals. But he's just kind of just showed that if I just ignore the scandals and blame it all on Stephen Harper or Pierre Poilievre or Donald Trump or someone else, or Indian foreign interference, right? It's the Indian government's reason why I'm unpopular with Canadians, so I'm not going to resign because Canadians love me. They're just being tricked by Modi or something into not liking me. These are all semi-possible Trudeau explanations to his behavior.
Right. Thank you so much, Daniel, for joining us with all those details. We will keep coming back to you for more on that. Moving on now to news coming in from the United States, and it's National Security Advisor of the US, Jake Sullivan, who is set to visit India to take stock of the India-US initiative on critical and emerging technologies. This is going to be a landmark initiative as far as the two countries are concerned in areas of emerging technologies such as artificial intelligence, and as well as semiconductors, biotech, and defense innovation. This will be the last high-profile visit to New Delhi from the outgoing administration of Joe Biden. And to get to know more on this, we have my colleague Vishal joining us. Vishal, take us through what all is on the agenda.
So as far as the latest reports are concerned, Jake Sullivan will be speaking with Indian counterparts on various issues such as artificial intelligence, space, civil obedience, and also the fact that China is supposed to be constructing humongous dams in Tibet. So India is also concerned with these projects. These are supposed to be the world's biggest dams, and India and other countries are concerned that there could be severe environmental impacts due to these construction of these dams. So US and other countries in the Pacific region, they're all concerned and they want China to respond to it. India has also conveyed that message that it is concerned about the construction of these dams. So these are some of the biggest points that could be discussed in the meet. So this is mostly a handover meeting, because this will be the last meeting between the Biden administration officials and Indian officials, because soon Donald Trump will be the president and he will have his set of diplomats and officials. So this will probably be the last meeting between both the sides. So a lot of areas will be coming up. As I mentioned, environmental issues and all, and artificial intelligence, space, all of that will probably figure in this visit.
Right. Thank you so much, Vishal, for joining us with those details. Moving on to the Golden Globes, and it was Payal Kapadia who was nominated at the Golden Globes with 2 nominations for her movie All We Imagine as Light. Kapadia lost the Best Director award to Brady Corbett for The Brutalist, and also her chance for Making It. She, of course, did create history when it came to the first Indian person who has, in fact, been nominated in the Best Director category. She was nominated also in the Best Motion Picture Non-English Language. She did lose out on those two, but has created history at the Golden Globes. Well, the Best Motion Picture goes to The Brutalist, and it's Zoe Saldana who won for her supporting role in Emilia Perez. Emilia Perez won big at the Golden Globes, and it was Demi Moore who won her first Golden Globe in 45 years. She won her Best Performance by a female actor in a motion picture, musical or comedy. Well, my colleague Abira has details of who all won and who all lost.
Award season has kick-started with the Golden Globes 2025, and the big winners today have been Emilia Perez, who has won 4 Globes today, and we have Shogun, who has won 4 Globes. Let me just take you through. Shogun has won Best Male Actor, Best Female Actor in a Drama Series, TV Series, Best Performance by a Male Actor in a Supporting Role, Best TV Drama, while Emilia Perez, the film, has won Best Supporting Actress, Best Non-English Language Film, Best Original Song, Best Musical or Comedy Film. We all know Payal Kapadia had been nominated, and she has made history just being nominated, because you know she's the first Indian filmmaker being nominated as Best Director. Her film All We Imagine as Light is being loved by everybody all over the world at different international film festivals. She has been winning awards. She was also in the list of Barack Obama's must-watch film of 2024. So you know she's already making us proud by just being nominated. She did lose out to both the categories, but nonetheless we are extremely proud of her. But other than that, let me take you through what happened at the Golden Globes. Some great moments coming in. My favorite personally was the Demi Moore coming on stage and giving a heartfelt speech. She said that it is after 45 years of her career that she has come on stage and accepted an award. She has been given an award. She also said at one point of her career, around 30 years back, she was told by a filmmaker she's only a popcorn actress, and that's when she lost all hope of ever winning any award. But today there she was. She won it for the substance, and she stood there and gave a wonderful speech, something that everybody would remember for years to come.
Right, Demi Moore there winning that award, of course, looking $1 million. And of course, also on the red carpet was Selena Gomez, who made an appearance for the first time with her fiance, and it was Timothée Chalamet, who was seen with his girlfriend Kylie Jenner at the Golden Globes. So thank you so much, Abira, for getting us those details. We will keep tracking more as far as the Golden Globes after party is concerned. For now, we're slipping into a short break.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola Edge 50 Pro, world's first AI-powered pro-grade camera.
Stormy start as far as the assembly session in Tamil Nadu is concerned. On the very first day, AIADMK MLAs were evicted, and it was the governor who stormed out because of the national anthem that wasn't played after the state anthem. Turbulent stormy session, and the governor there, demanding that the national anthem be played after the state anthem, and which is why, without giving that customary address at the assembly session of Tamil Nadu, the governor, R.N. Ravi, stormed out. Formula E race case Pro picks up as the BRS leader KTR appeared before the ACB but left within minutes because his legal counsel, his legal team, wasn't allowed. And Suresh Chandrakar, the prime accused in the murder of Mukesh Chandrakar, has finally been arrested. He was apparently absconding since the body was found in that septic tank, but he apparently was hiding at the residence of his driver.
I've been reporting on all issues big and small from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India, bringing you all the action, all that you need to know, all that you want to know.
The energy of Maximum City is infectious. I bring in that energy in our news coverage from financial capital Mumbai.
Covering from the southernmost part of India over the last 23 years, I bring in-depth and 360-degree coverage from the Dravidian heartland.
The land of Mishti is also known for its bitter politics. I have seen much water flow under the Howrah Bridge, covering Bengal in all its vivid colors.
In today's interconnected world, India's voice is more crucial than ever. When India speaks, the world listens. At NDTV World, we are that voice, bringing you intelligent and insightful news from India and beyond. From geopolitics and diplomacy to economic shifts, migrations, tech disruptions, and the stories of our diaspora. We cover the news that shapes our global future. NDTV World, your new home for global news is here.
All set for Trump 2.0. Countdown to January 20th. Terror shadow, visa wars. All the twists and turns. Tracking Trump takeover. Every day at 10:30 p.m. only on NDTV 24/7.
We are able to maintain the democratic fabric and the democratic system.
I want to do something that can make a difference.
लगातार जनता की आवाज को सरकार तक पहुंचाने का काम मैं करता हूं.
I was a student up until very recently. I really want to work and do something for my people because they have given me this opportunity. They have elected me.
सोचा नहीं था कि राज्यसभा सांसद बनूंगी.
I've been reporting on all issues big and small from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India, bringing you all the action, all that you need to know, all that you want to know.
The energy of Maximum City is infectious. I bring in that energy in our news coverage from financial capital Mumbai.
Covering from the southernmost part of India over the last 23 years, I bring in-depth and 360-degree coverage from the Dravidian heartland.
The land of Mishti is also known for its bitter politics. I have seen much water flow under the Howrah Bridge, covering Bengal in all its vivid colors.
today's interconnected world, India's voice is more crucial than ever. When India speaks, the world listens. At NDTV World, we are that voice, bringing you intelligent and insightful news from India and beyond. From geopolitics and diplomacy to economic shifts, migrations, tech disruptions, and the stories of our diaspora. We cover the news that shapes our global future. NDTV World, your new home for global news is here.
It's Delhi's Sheesh Mahal war ahead of the elections in the national capital, with the BJP attacking the ex-chief minister over the amount spent. As far as the bungalow is concerned, this comes close on the heels of the BJP saying make that into a picnic spot. Stormy start to Tamil Nadu's assembly session. AIA-DMK MLAs were evicted from the state assembly for carrying placards and badges in regard to the alleged rape case at the Anna University in Chennai. And a turbulent start to the assembly session in Tamil Nadu, with the governor there walking out because the national anthem was not played after the state anthem, which resulted in R.N. Ravi walking out. Suresh Chandrakar, the prime accused in the murder of Mukesh Chandrakar, a Chhattisgarh journalist, has been taken into custody by the SIT from Hyderabad. He was apparently hiding out at his driver's residence. Markets stumble in trade. Nifty and Sensex decline over 1%. The Sensex slides over 1,000 points. Embattled Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau is likely to resign as the Liberal Party leader amid growing calls within the party for him to step aside. It's still unclear whether Trudeau will resign immediately or stay on as the Prime Minister until a new leader is selected. Let's get you the latest as far as the war between the Aam Aadmi Party and the BJP is concerned. The BJP doubling down on the Sheesh Mahal, with the BJP slamming the Aam Aadmi Party over the CAG report regarding the massive cost inflation by Arvind Kejriwal for the renovation of his residence in Civil Lines area of the national capital. The BJP demanding an account of the expense, and the CAG that raised 139 questions. What the BJP has gone on to say, of course, Arvind Kejriwal hitting back at the BJP there. Of course, this is in regard to the kind of money that was spent in terms of the renovation and the original cost that went up 4 times, from a little under 8 crore rupees to over 33 crore rupees, which was finally spent in the renovation, including 96 lakh rupees that was spent on just curtains alone. Well, let's just get you what really Virendra Sachdeva of the BJP, the Delhi chief, has to say.
We are being joined by Delhi BJP President Mr. Virendra Sachdeva. During his press conference, the Delhi BJP has even brought out this large model of Sheesh Mahal, the house of ex-Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal. Let's go straight to him. Sir, जिस तरीके से देखा जा रहा है, आपने कैग के कुछ रिपोर्ट का हवाला दिया है, आपने बताया है कि जिस तरीके से कैग के रिपोर्ट्स आए हैं वो